Hey, my friends, welcome to whatever my podcast is called. Yes, the Dallas Daily Show coming at you from the Neighborhood Loan Studio. It's obviously a Monday, isn't it? Today's episode is titled Chuck the Duck. Yep, let's get into it. All right, so have you all seen this trend? It's been going around for a while now, but have you seen this trend where Jeeps have these little rubber duckies in them? You know what I'm talking about, Taylor, right? Rubber ducky, you're my friend. Okay, and I don't know why it became a Jeep thing, but I know people who, when they see Jeeps, they literally keep rubber ducks in their car, and when they see a Jeep parked in a parking lot, they'll duck the car. They'll duck the Jeep. Taylor, do you know why that's a thing? Okay. She's shaking her head no. I promise y'all, we're going to get Taylor on a microphone. I have no idea where this trend came from. You would think if I researched my show a little bit better, I'd be prepared to talk about that. But the truth is, guys, I come up with a topic, I come up with an insight, an action item, a positive play call, and I go to town. That's it. That's how this works. I don't say I should probably Google some of my stuff. I have no idea why they do the duck the Jeeps. I don't know where the trend started. I don't know why it's so popular, but like I'll see Jeeps with 30 ducks on the on the dash while they're driving. I don't get it. I think it's weird, but I know somebody who is a Jeep driver and he gets ducked often. And every time he gets ducked, he tosses the duck. He chucks the duck. And I asked him one time, I'm like, "Hey, you've got no ducks." And he was like, "No, I chuck the duck." And I was like, "Oh, tell me about that." He was like, "It's a silly trend. I don't want to be part of it." And I'm not knocking the trend. He knocks the trend. He's a Jeep owner. He's allowed. It feels like I shouldn't have anything to say to it since I drive a Prius and a Toyota Highlander. But he's like, "Yeah, no. Every time I get one on my car, I just chuck the duck." And I said to him, "Have you ever thought about maybe just putting it on someone else's Jeep instead of like throwing it in a parking lot?" And he's like, "I don't care." And so he doesn't care. He chucks the duck. He goes, "I refuse to be a part of that trend." And I was like, "Oh, that's really fascinating." Someone who's like refusing to be a part of a trend. Now that's a silly trend, for better or for worse. Chucking the duck it's like, it's not a big problem, but it got me thinking about you and about me. There are other trends in our society, and sometimes we feel like we have to follow along with the trend. We feel like we have to have an opinion about something that we know very little about. See, I didn't Google Chuck the Duck, or I didn't Google why Jeeps have ducks in them, right? I don't need to have an opinion about that. And if someone asks me in my opinion, I go, I don't know. I'm not a Jeep owner. But in our own world, okay, in our society, we are compulsively told that we need to have an opinion about something. We need to go along with a trend. Oh my gosh, water bottle flipping. A couple of years ago, the ALS Ice Challenge, right? There are trends that happen in our society that we don't necessarily need to be a part of. We don't need to have an opinion about a political thing. Oh my gosh, can you believe what Trump said about this, or what Kamala said about that, or what JD Vance, blah, 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 blah. We don't need to have an opinion if we know nothing. What about Israel and Hamas and Palestine and Ukraine and Russia? And we're told all the time, you need to have an opinion on something. What if we don't? What if we just said to somebody, actually, you know what? I'm working on myself right now. I'm working on a couple other things, and something happening 4,000 miles away doesn't have a big say in my life. Or yeah, actually, I live in Illinois. That's a California thing. Or oh yeah, I live in Montana, and that stuff happening in Florida. You don't have to have an opinion about Florida. You don't have to have an opinion about California. You don't have to have an opinion about what Joe Rogan says about anything. You don't have to have an opinion about Taylor Swift. You just don't. So if you need permission to not necessarily have an opinion or not necessarily follow a trend, I'm giving you that permission. Just like my buddy, chuck the duck, right? Where do you need to chuck the duck in your own life? Because the truth is, it can waste a lot of your mental energy. It can waste a lot of your emotional energy, right? It can waste a lot of focus energy, relationship energy. You don't always have to put the duck on your dashboard. You don't always have to follow along. Maybe what you need to do is chuck the duck. So that's your positive play call today. In your own life, I want you to think about where's somewhere I need to chuck the duck. And on your positive play call cards, again, if you've been following the show for any length of time, you can download a little template of these positive play calls at dallasdailyshow.com. That link is in the notes. But on your positive play call today, you're just going to write chuck the duck. And you're going to put it at a place where normally you get triggered. Normally you fall into following a trend. So maybe it has to sit right by your laptop where when you're on social media and you're like, oh, I need to have an opinion about this. Right. Mini blog. Maybe you don't. Maybe you see that and you're like, yeah, chuck the duck, scroll along, right? You literally can keep scrolling. So that is the positive play call today. Chuck the duck. Don't follow the trend. Be who you're supposed to be. Focus on who you're becoming rather than what the world says you need to be doing and focused on. You focus on who you're becoming. Now, I do want you to follow the trend of joining with me and being part of this tribe and getting into the Dallas Daily Show more. And I want to be a voice of value for you, my friend. I want to help you continually think about who you are becoming. So in the meantime, chuck the duck, dude. Yeah, that's just all you need to do there. Chuck the duck and go out there and have a championship day.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more tools, go to dallasdailyshow.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.